Joining me now on the phone is a guy you all know and love, former Irish All-American Brady Quinn, Maxwell Award winner, Heisman Trophy finalist, one of the greatest quarterbacks in Notre Dame history. He set 36 Notre Dame records when he was here. Brady, thanks so much for taking the time tonight.
Jack, thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure to have the opportunity to chat with you. Does it seem like as long ago as it was that you were taking snaps here for Notre Dame?
Time flies, and it does feel like it's been a little while now. And believe me, those days they're tough. I mean, you miss the memories, you miss all the relationships and all the people that you came across during your time in Notre Dame, and that's the biggest thing. It's all the people that make that place so special.
Now, I knew you were smart, and you reaffirmed that by deciding to get into broadcasting, where you don't get hit. And you get paid really decent money to explain the game of football, which you know as well as anybody. How do you think your first season with Fox went? Because I know you got rave reviews.
Yeah, it went well. I mean, obviously, to the standpoint that they're offering me another contract now, so I'm currently in contract negotiations with that, but not closing the door on football yet either. Still working out, still hoping for an opportunity. But if not, I know that's probably going to be the next career that I pursue at this point in time.
And I know you took part in our first this year. They had their first Veterans Combine, and you went to that. What was that like?
Well, it was kind of reminiscent of, the rookie combine that everyone goes through as you're going through the draft process initially out of college. But, it was a little bit unorganized, which a lot of times that tends to be the case with the first year they do something like that. But it was a good experience, and I was glad the NFL decided to do it. It gave a lot of veteran guys who were, again, hoping to get on with teams an opportunity to perform in front of them and a lot of the higher-level executives because of the owners' meetings out in Arizona that week. So all in all, it was a good performance, and it was a good time to be out there working out in front of the teams.
You, of course, were a first-round draft pick of the Browns back in 2007. You've played for 6 teams, and I don't think fans really understand how tough it is to break through in the NFL, especially at the quarterback position, where once guys get established, they don't go anywhere for 10 years, 15 years, sometimes even longer. Just talk about how competitive it is at the quarterback position in the NFL.
Oh, it's extremely competitive. I mean, a lot of dictating how people's career goes comes down to situation and circumstance. And you're drafted into, a team you're not necessarily able to pick like you are when you're selecting the colleges you'd like to go and play at. So you're drafted into a team in a situation. There's a lot of things that are out of your control. Turnover with coaches, turnover with front office executives and so forth, even ownership. All those things, go into play a part, in your performance as a quarterback and even the personnel. That was probably the toughest thing to get adjusted to, was always adjusting to new players, new wide receivers, things like that, because you rely on being able to have a rapport with them and being able to anticipate things before they happen. But it's hard when you don't really know guys very well. I mean, guys are coming in off the street as free agents or on a year-to-year basis. Whereas college, you have that opportunity to kind of build that over the course of 3 or 4 years.
I know you can spend the rest of your life announcing. I personally am glad that you're trying to give it another shot at the ripe old age of 30. And first of all, what does it feel like to be 30?
I feel old. I feel like when I'm waking up, some of those hits I took back in college are I'm starting to feel them now. But I still feel good. It's crazy to think how fast time's flown by. I still remember being 18 years old and getting on Notre Dame's campus and just being completely overwhelmed by the beauty, but then just felt so accepted and so loved by the student body there. I mean, that has to be the thing to me, and I always say it's the people, it's the relationships, but it's the student body, it's the spirit of Notre Dame that kind of lives on that campus that makes that place so special and always such a near and dear place in my heart.
And what impact has your experience in Notre Dame had on both not just your professional football career, but your life after college?
Well, I decided to start a foundation with my father, actually, where we make homes handicap accessible for veterans. It's called the Third and Goal Veteran Home Aid. We came up with that about 4 years ago, and we've really been trying to, reach as far as, Seattle to do different projects. When I was with the Seahawks, we did a home renovation out there. I've done some work in Florida and Ohio, really all across the country. We do different, gifts. So, Notre Dame brought to light, to me, just the opportunity to be able to give back and try to, build something that's bigger than yourself and help people, outside of yourself. So for me, being that my father was a Marine in Vietnam and spent time in the military, that was the best way that I felt was closest to my heart to give back, was to be able to help out our veterans.
You are a shining example of the Notre Dame student-athlete experience. I always tell people that's what Notre Dame does. They produce outstanding student-athletes who excel on the field, in the classroom, and in life. And that's what you're doing. You're giving back to your community. As we wrap this up, though, we all want to see you back on the field this fall. So what kind of response are you getting right now when you reach out to teams? Because, again, you can announce forever, but you can also make a very good living not only as a starting NFL quarterback, but the guys who are signaling in the plays and helping out and ready to go in to back up the starter, you can make a pretty good living doing that as well.
No, there's no doubt about it. Obviously the competitor in me always wants to play and always wants to be the guy behind center. But I think if you can get yourself into a backup role, that works as well, especially from a financial standpoint. But at this point with the draft being so close, a lot of teams are going to be looking to try to fill the rosters with whatever they want to fulfill in the draft. So we'll see what kind of is left after that. But that's kind of the feedback we're getting right now. And again, as much as I'd love to go back and play and hope for that opportunity, at the same time, I know there's something else there for me. And really when it comes down to it, there's nothing that will ever compare to my experience at Notre Dame. It's such a unique place. It's such a treasured experience that, that will forever be my best memories of football, even if things had gone, better than I had anticipated or better than they have gone for me so far in the NFL.
Brady, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. I know you make every effort to get back on campus, and look forward to seeing our cross paths as soon as possible in the future. Thank you.